You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amber TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned. You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amber TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned.
The Amber World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort, while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Ambazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop.
Fellow Ambazonians, this is an announcement declaring 3 days national lockdown from Monday the 25th to Wednesday the 27th of July 2022. This lockdown has to do with the visit of President Macron to La République du Cameroon. We all know that the war between La République du Cameroon and the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is a proxy war fought by the French. Our true warriors, our true enemies who are fighting us behind the shadows are the French. Mr. Macron, the President of France, is therefore the real perpetrator of the genocide that has been declared on our people, and he is visiting neighboring La République du Cameroon to review, encourage, and visit his troops, his genocidal troops. Ambazonia is not invited to that inglorious occasion, except for one blackleg, Mr. Frundi, who has been invited to represent himself. We in Ambazonia all Ambazonians, we will use these 3 days to mourn. The whole territory of Ambazonia should observe these 3 days as mourning days. We want to mourn our more than 45,000 innocent souls that have been brutally slaughtered by the French paid armies of La République in our country. And this genocide is ongoing. We are mourning. Our territory will be in complete lockdown. Our borders, especially with La République, shall be locked down, shall be closed during this time. We are calling on Mr. Macron to tell his handlers to meet us as quickly as now for a meaningful negotiated settlement to this war that is devouring our people unjustly. During these days, these 3 days, all forces are put on notice. All Ambazonian restoration forces should do everything to enforce this order nationwide and make sure that our borders with La République are closed, so that if by any means Mr. Macron on his way from France or on his way to Benin flies over our airspace, he should be able to see that Ambazonia is mourning. And even if he does not see it, that his own press in Yaoundé and his intelligence services in his embassy should be able to communicate to him clearly where the state of Ambazonia and what is happening right now. This is the right thing to do, and may God continue to protect our country. God bless you.
You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amba TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned.
Sungina kungalma Wiri dembe aduni Anini Venyendi ngara Venkuyena Sungina kungalma Emwe Wiri dembe aduni Anini Venyendi ngara Venkuyena
Ask ya. See me hurting, I know if you hide the pain. I did bend my effort down cause I did shame. Wondering when the day go bright again. The streets covered up in blood, it's a fail. Devil done the use sweet, slowly it'll kill we. Mommy the looky picking way no day for hella pee. Little kids in the streets faced with tragedy, crying out for help, oh Lord, where the remedy? Bullets in the streets and the drugs them for tear. First there was the boys, right now even the girls. Where do we turn for solace, where do we go for help? Do we really sleep when we lay down in a bed? What do we tell the kids when they can't sleep at night? Because they be afraid of waiting with this in life. Nobody is safe anymore. We ain't safe anymore.
Sungina kungalma imwe Wiri dembe aduni Anini Venyendi ngara Venkuyena
gun so that you protect the streets. But commotion on day now because you kill Pekin. Then it's a mistake. What really is your gain? Oh, you cause we pain. A man is more picking where they carry a soul. It breaks cut up a floor before the mash and it go. Oh, as a mom, I swear my heart is broken. I don't know who to trust again, even my spirit is broken. We run away from home because it's no longer safe. To hide out in the tears that is also not safe. That's smelling in the air like it's beasts of no nation. Where is the peace in our love-filled nation? I swear what I don't dry for my eye. And as of now, man don't even know step when he go die. Rest well, little babies, till we meet again. Rest well.
One in book is when inside of me guy, inside of me guy, inside of guy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Cavanias, if you have a meaning, Vacunia, you could say, oh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians. Welcome to Team Ambazonia, the negotiation table. I am, as you all know me, the Speaker of the Interim House of Representatives, but today I'm here as Chair of Team Ambazonia. So I want to welcome every one of you. Share this link as you get it for those who can, and for those who are at the home front, kudos for watching, and call your friends. Remind them that the show is on. There's a lot on our plate today, and we'll be talking about what are the next steps for Team Ambazonia. But before I go any further to talk much about that, I need to welcome our co-panelists this day, Dr. Elat of the Foreign Affairs Secretary of State, as well as the lead team member of the interim government within Team Ambazonia. Dr. Elat, welcome this evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my pleasure being with you today to have a very convivial conversation. So I'm happy to be here today with you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for your presence. For those who don't know, our able Dr. Elat is a man who is really a hardworking person. If you just understand and know what he is going through to make it at this moment, you will now cook it chop, will now cook it whether na fufu and eru or nanjamsu and wait, you can put them for your front now and say, hey, chop, you don't come, go put your food up, rest. But he loves Ambazonia so much that he said, I need to be with the people and I need to inform the people. Dr. Ella, thank you for being here. I know all the nitty gritty stuff that are going in the background for you to even be able to make it here. So I really appreciate this, that we can co-panel this and host this today for the people. Okay.
Always
with
my
that
pleasure.
said,
Ambazonia is always
thank you.
first for me. You know?
With that being said, Dr. Ella, our show title is What is Next for Us? What is Team Ambazonia really doing? What is the next thing we should be doing? And what is the next thing with regards to the Swiss-led process? And we are not gonna, we're moving forward. We're not sitting behind. So what is really next for us? We've heard about capacity building, and what is really capacity building? Tell us more. Let educate Ambazonians, inform them what this really means, because it's like a buzzword where many people are confused and many people think that it's negotiation. But just tell us plainly what capacity building is.
Well, thank you again, and fellow viewers. It's always a pleasure talking to Ambazonians, and I want to greet all our people who are in ground zero. I know what you guys are undergoing, and being with you in spirit like this is always a pleasure. It makes me feel engaged with my people. So I want to thank you all very well. Thank the ones in ground one, two, and all Amazonians who are listening to us today. And thanks the crew of the ABC for making this too possible. Yeah, what is capacity building? Uh, um, as you have already mentioned, capacity is an English word that's making you being able to do something. You're not doing it. They're trying to bring you to the point where you're able to do the business that you're doing, whether it's in economics, whether it's in the school, whether it's football, sports, soccer, whatever capacity, they're building you up. You already answered the question, what is it? The question has its answer: capacity building, capable of doing. That's it. So they're bringing you to the point of capable of doing what you intend to do. That's capacity building, as simple as that.
Thank you. That is the simplest explanation. But in terms of negotiation, what does that really entail? Explain to
Yeah.
Ambazonians.
Yeah, in terms of negotiation, is helping you, your group, to set its goals, right? For example, um, a lot of people think, and they say, I've heard it a lot. I mean, for the past 3 years plus that we are in ACT, people always complain that ACT is doing nothing. We don't force the Swiss to bring La République to the table. It always makes, I wish and I pray that the Swiss don't listen to those people talking about it, because, I mean, the mediation, the mediator is not his duty to bring any of us to the table. The mediator is there to make a playing field equal for each and every, for the both actors, the both sides, the both teams that are coming, the both people that are, La Republique is negotiating with Ambazonia, period. So that is the duty of the mediator, to make sure they feel the level, to level the field. And the capacity building, I believe, is something that is going on to make sure that we know that we have equal status with La République du Cameroon. And it helps us also give us the insight building our goals, because it is very important at the beginning of every negotiation process that your delegation engage in internal evaluation. And there are certain things that we can say we don't know, and there are experts all over the world. And let me make it before I forget. If something just come to my brain, let me say it. This same capacity building that the Swiss is doing with Amazonia is doing the same with La République du Cameroon. So it is not something that they are doing only with us, or they are trying to negotiate with us. Or no, no, no. They are doing the same thing with La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon is sending its people all the time to Switzerland, or the Swiss is traveling to their, how do they call that, their capital? Is it Tudi or Yaoundé? Is traveling there to do the same thing with them. So it's just to make sure that we are up to date. It's make sure that we know we build our goals. And the thing is that determining the delegation goals must be done before the delegation ever attempt to do any effective negotiation, because you don't just go there. I mean, for many a times I've been saying that people think those of us who are in ACT are the ones going to sit on the negotiation table. No, it's not. You don't just go and sit on the negotiation table like that because you're an Ambazonia. Then you sell your country. So capacity building is very important. It's just a discussion, bringing us up to the level. When I say bring us up to the level, I want to make this abundantly clear, because people will interpret it to somehow. Okay, you say you people who are ACT are not the one going to sit on the negotiation table. Yes, we're not. The capacity building, they're going to tell us things that we in ACT, that is the ACT whole committee, preparing for people for this negotiation, will know how to build our various teams, and these teams now will know what to work. We will have, we will be like the teachers who will give them what we've gotten from them. And let me be honest that when they say capacity building, it doesn't come only from Switzerland. They bring people from all over places,
Thank you.
places that have had revolution, like Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ukraine, Sri Lanka. You can name them. We have had some of this capacity building. I've never seen anybody who is from Switzerland. None of them has ever been from Switzerland. They come from Kosovo, all those areas. People who are versed with revolution, with war. They come up and tell us how we can upgrade, and then be ready for negotiation.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Ellard. I'm really happy for you giving that in-depth explanation and expounding on capacity building and what it is, especially to us, because we never walked down this path before. If we even look at taking a look back at Fumban, what happened at Fumban is La République actually had France that came alongside to aid them. But we went, our fathers went to Fumban naked and empty handed. So they came out with this
Yeah.
sour, terrible deal. So capacity building is helping us now so that we don't make the mistakes that our fathers made in Fumban. And thank you for making it abundantly clear that those who are sitting in Act Council or Team Ambazonia are not the ones that are going to be sitting on the negotiation table per se, but we are going to be using the information, the wealth of information to start seeing how we can draw and build teams that are relevant. Let me ask you one question here to lay some things to rest, because I see some things on social media. It is very disheartening because of our ignorance that many of us are stirring up things that are not really good. Here is what I am going to really ask. It's every training that is done in capacity building, must it be put out on social media so that everybody knows who is there, who is not there?
Well, that question goes the same like you see in social media. I read from one forum which I was very happy to read. They were giving the uh, how do I call it, progress report of President Sako. this, that, and they came and no, I don't know, I cannot remember the race zero diplomacy. Yeah, that was very important. I love that part. Was zero diplomacy. Well, it's because you don't see diplomats coming out and running their mouth to everybody. That is the type of democracy that we have in La République du Cameroon. When Paul Biya said democracy avancée, that means La République has the most advanced democracy in the world by going out and telling people that we have democracy start from today, so everybody will be democratized. There are things when you see there on social media, it's baseless, needless talking about it because you who is doing the job know what you're doing. So you don't go out there and answer social media. I used to tell people that sometimes when I don't answer people, they think, oh, I've handled that, Dr. Ella. No, no, you have not. The reason why I don't answer, I don't know people who are writing. You sit in Australia or Canada or USA or wherever, and you write something. I also pick my phone and reply. No, 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 no. We have a lot of things to do. Like now, we're talking about negotiation. Very important for this revolution and for the Amazonians. Instead of sitting on social media, some people have a misconception of the word activist. Activism is non-partisan. You're not even supposed to have a group. You're not supposed to be somewhere because as an activist is like a watchdog. They call it ombudsman or woman. You're supposed to sit there and watch that everything is moving. What you see is not correct, you put it out. What is correct, you praise it. But our own activists that we have in Ambazonia is copied from, I see, like I can compare with CNN and Fox News. Total Republican and total Democrat. So that's what is happening today in Ambazonia. So those are just I don't know how to put it. You should, when you mistakenly come across such things, just glance on it and pass, go forward. We are not going out to tell Ambazonians what was done in the capacity building. Is not allowed. Number one. Number two, it's going to be discussed with the negotiation team, those teams that are involved in the negotiation process, the economic team, the imagine, just take for example, Mawini, I'm a lawyer and I have capacity building in legal matters. And then I go and meet a geographer and be explaining to the geographer what was done in the legal side of the capacity building. How does that help the geographer? Or if the geographer is coming to tell me, it might have a little bit, just 0.01% of help, but it doesn't make sense telling that to Ambazonia people. Again, it is not to be broadcasted to the people of Ambazonia. It is not a secret meeting. It is something that is very educative and very concise that we must sit and after the capacity building, rehearse what we have done and see that we are up to date instead of going to the TV or social media and be telling the people of Ambazonia we met with ABC, we did this, that makes no sense. So simple answer, no, must not be done. So whoever is there crying for whatever he or she doesn't know can keep crying. You don't need to worry yourself about it. Are we on?
Ella, can you hear me? Is
Yeah,
the
I can
sound
hear you
okay?
now.
Okay, good.
Very, very.
I'm saying you mentioned earlier that the role of the mediator um, the mediator in our own situation is the Swiss government. It is not their responsibility to bring La République du Cameroon to the negotiation table. Neither is it even their responsibility to bring us to the negotiation table. Then whose responsibility is it to bring both parties that have agreed to the negotiation table?
Ambazonians have the responsibility to bring Ambazonia to the negotiation table. La République have that responsibility to bring themselves to the negotiation table. Now, I've seen your brain where you're going, trying to ask me if they don't come. Yeah, if they don't come, that is where the Swiss is having a lot of. One thing people don't understand is international diplomacy. You know, the Swiss is having a lot of people, diplomatic uh, mission in Cameroon, in La République du Cameroon. So they could use part of that. I mean, in order to pressurize La République to tell them, okay, guys, it's time to sit down and talk. Do this or do that. They might exert some pressure to La République, but they cannot force La République to come to the table. Same as they will never force us, Ambazonia, if we don't want to go there, to come to the table. That is one. Two, La République is a state actor. They have a lot of diplomatic connection with a lot of international organizations in the UN, the EU, the African Union. Those can also exert pressure to La République du Cameroon to tell them, hey, guys, this killing is enough. Your own people are dying. The country is becoming ruined. It's a rock state, and all this is happening. Go and sit down and talk with those people. It's enough is enough. They can do that. They can eliminate them, dismiss them from certain area unions like the Commonwealth. Well, from the UN, they cannot do it. Like they can cut some aids that were given to them, like America and the EU have been doing. They can also make sure they start giving them some type of bans not to travel to areas. All those pressure can be exerted to them and to us if we also don't want to go to the table. And then we start thinking, man, are we going to lose all these our advantages because of, okay, let's go and sit down and talk. And they will come. And that is what we are working behind the scene with the diplomatic teams, putting all pressure, doing all we can do to make sure we contact those necessary departments, areas of key interest that can help pressurize La République. So you can see some of the things that are happening. There are some good news of bans. This is the going now, the end of December, beginning October, January 2023 will be the ban of any of top official of La République entering Germany. Ambazonians are some, I will not say all, some are very, very vigilant in seeing only things that are unnecessary. None of them have asked themselves, Germany, France, Belgium, for 1 year plus going now, no top minister from La République has entered these countries. None of them, nobody noticed that. Why? You think it's just like that? They don't want to go there? They cannot go there? No. It's what we are working behind the scene. That is one thing that is happening because this one went through the cut, so we can talk it a little bit. But after all, Ambazonians should open their eyes and see that there's a lot of things being done behind the scene. Instead of talking and talking, contact the necessary departments like the foreign affairs and give them or act and give them some tips that we can push forward in regaining our independence.
Dr. Elat, you took my next question and you just took it off my under my feet and you just went ahead and answered it. But there is something that you have said which is very important and very critical. It's about having classified information or dealing with classified information, which is where many Ambazonians have not been able to manage and handle that well, and they want to run out with classified information. I'm not talking about just the interim government, I'm talking across the board. If you look, that's why you find this activist here will run. I was the first to push this on social media. I'm the first. I have my reliable contacts here. Reliable. They don't realize that even many negotiations happen in that really top secret before it ever shows up. Sometimes you and I, let's take for example some nations, whether we're talking about Northern Ireland or and the UK when they had their own issues, they were at some point the top people were talking, why those who were in the middle dealing with all like what we are doing here did not know that that was already taking place, and they were walking it towards the direction that they wanted to go. So they cut the chase. Like sometimes I've heard President Sarkozy say, if Paul Biya will be there, I will be there. That it's telling you that okay, at this level, this is who. When this person is talking, this is what. So help Amazonians to understand that there are different levels of information that can be put out, and there are top classified information that sometimes may not be put out. For example, if we're dealing with self-defense issues, we will not come to put that out. We will not tell them because that would jeopardize the lives of our ARFs on the ground. So let them be ready. So tell us more about dealing with classified information.
Well, that's what the foreign affairs is doing. And if you see anybody, I think the president has made this statement before, if I remember. But that is true. If you see anybody who claims dealing with diplomacy, standing up there talking and posting pictures of who or how or what they have discussed, who I met, then that person is absolutely not doing any diplomacy. For example, you're going very far to Northern Ireland and all those happening. What about now? The war in Ukraine, the
Mm-hmm.
wheat that has to be transported.
Yep.
You hear in CNN, BBC, and all the right saying Turkey is mediating the talk. That's all we know. Have they come out and tell you guys what they are talking, the details of what they are talking, how they're going to do everything? No, they've just said there will be Russian military, Ukrainian military, United Nations forces that will monitor the transportation of wheat from Ukraine to the rest of the world. That's it. The top line. Like now, we say we're having diplomatic outreach, capacity building, and that's it. Nobody comes out to tell you what they have been sitting there for 13 hours discussing. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't happen. If we go out and declassify all what we are talking, then we'll never get the independence. We will never even reach the bottom part of a thermometer. That's the zero. We will not reach there. We'll remain on minus. So that is the classified area of things. Unfortunately, that is how the world works. That is the world order. You cannot change it. Ambazonia will not come today and bring a new world order. The new world order is already going. So we only have to follow the trend and the strategy. We cannot go out of it. Because number one, If I meet with somebody today and I have to come now on ABC and announce it to the whole Ambazonia, who I met and what we talk about, then that's it. Tomorrow that person will not meet you anymore. And he or she will tell the other ones that no, 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 don't discuss with those people. Immediately you talk to them, it's already out. You can see from the so-called Choya and his people. When they mistakenly have a talk with the Swiss before they want to even leave that door, it's out circulating all over the world. You can know how those people grumble. I'm telling you, they grumble a lot. And that caused them to really see us like people who are not serious. But thanks to this interim government, we're giving them this confidence again. We're bringing them that I used to ask them, how many times have you seen me going out there and telling people who I've met? I have gone to diplomatic outreach with so many Ambazonians. I can name some of them for people to ask. Like even Yerima has gone with me several times in Netherlands to places. But do we go out there and announce it to people? No, because it's not how diplomacy works. So that's it, ma. We don't need to label this topic. Amazonians will
Thank
get the
you.
facade, but you will not get the juice that is inside the orange. The peels will be shown. That is orange, yes. But what is inside, guess for yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to shift gear a little bit here. La République du Cameroon says they do not know who to talk to. Um, you are probably the wrong person, but I have to just ask these questions for the benefit of our people on the ground so they understand this and so they keep hope up and not give up. So, like I said, La République de Cameroon says they do not know who to talk to. The question I throw out there, have they come to the negotiation table and they found out that there was nobody at that table since they don't know who to talk to?
Well, they don't know who to talk to, but they know who to arrest. They are sending letters to countries and giving names that they should deport some of us that we are sponsoring terrorism in so-called Cameroon. They know who to send letters. I'm just looking here because I would have, if there was a way of sharing, I would have shown one of mine here that they sent to the German government. They know who to send letters for us to be sent back for us to sit in their so-called prison dungeons, yeah. But they don't know who to talk to. This is just a political game that they're playing, game theory, you know. If you've read about it, they're playing these games to make sure that we adhere to their demands. La République has never ever know how to talk to their people. I watched a program on going on. There was something that was sent, and there was a question asked. There is a president that is in Africa, and for 9 years, I mean 9 years, have never had a cabinet meeting with his people. That was a quiz. I will look for that thing and send out to social media. And people were talking, giving, and you know who was that? Paul Biya. This is somebody who doesn't know how to speak to his people. And you can recall from the beginning of this revolution that he was so big, the Almighty God, Paul Biya. How can he sit with people like that time was Agbobala, Patasan, and talk? How come you near him? He's a, I don't know. So they still believe they have the command. They are still in their brain thinking they still have to command us to tell us what to do and how to do. And now that they see that we have gone and gone forever, that's why they are confused and they don't know who to talk to because they never prepared themselves to talk peace and see how justice works. So They are so confused. So that is just their confusion that they are into. It is not because they don't know who to talk to. They know who to talk to. Let President Sako mistakenly put his leg somewhere in an African country now near somewhere there. They will pick him as the Tugnyam the Kanu or how they call it. That one now they know how to pick. They know how to pick him. They will know how to pick him, but they did not know how to come and talk with him. You see how they are confused. So let's move forward and keep preparing. We are waiting for them since 3 years plus, and they are playing games. We don't know who to talk to, but they are there accusing us as we are destroying the land, sponsoring terrorism. Who are those sponsoring the terrorism? Okay, go and talk to those people who are sponsoring this terrorism to stop. Simple.
Wow, that is let me just put it, that question was really an moron, because I knew that it's just a game on the diplomatic arena, not because they don't know who to talk to, but because they
They know,
choose not to talk to who they need to talk to.
of
And so
course,
they are
of course.
evasive. So there is another stories. We don't like to deal with stories, which again, we were talking about classified information and how it should be handled. But it is alleged on social media that La République has hired Russian mercenaries, and maybe there could even be Israeli mercenaries, so that they can come into Ambazonia and do what they can do, maybe snipers to put down the Ambazonian restoration forces and quell what they consider a resistance. How and what should Ambazonians do if this is true? We can make the scenario of what if it is true and what it if it is not true. I don't think the answers will be any different whether it is true or not true, because we are at war. So what should we expect of this? Because I don't think La Republic will be sleeping, not trying to make efforts to do something that they think they can crush us.
Yeah, Marvin, to be honest, with no animosity, these people are weak. They are confused. Sometimes I hear them say who we call our field marshals, generals, who gave them those titles. I ask myself if La Republique is really awake or they are still sleeping. I mean, let's take La Republique du Cameroon with all their generals and colonels. Let's look at their track record. I bet you there are generals in La Republique du Cameroun who have never shot a bird. Our own are doing it. They are eliminating them, sending them back to Akonolinga. Theirs have never, I'm telling you, this is no joke. Let's take, for example, Semenge, the one that I was growing from small till today, with my 150 years. He is still there as a general who cannot even stand up. I don't want to talk about their senate who cannot even speak. What general is he, and for whatever did he? You see, here in Germany, you see people who are in the rank of general, field marshal in America. They have been in, they say, how do they call it? Two rotation. They have gone to Iraq and these two times. They have done this, they have done that. They command the field in Kosovo. They do that. Ours, where have they been? Even this training that the UN peacekeeping used to do, they have never attended. They call themselves generals, colonels, all those. Coming back to your question, La République is the most devilish people I mean, their so-called government and that have ever come against. In fact, there was an opposition leader in Russia, Zhirinovsky. He just died recently, who said that if they give him the power, he will wipe everybody in Chechnya and then put a new life. I bet you, if God is really existing, although I long graduated from church, that's what he's supposed to do in La Republique. Because those people are so corrupt and wicked and devilish that they can do anything. So what we can do is our commanders, our Secretary of Defense and his people should make sure they are in constant check with the commanders, put them at alert, because the Republic can do anything, everything. They are weak, they are devastated, they are poor, they are ruined, they don't have any military. They are picking children on the street, train them for 3 weeks, send them to Ambazonia to go and fight. And if Russia is not yet satisfied with this, the stress they are having in Ukraine, I will advise them to concentrate and focus in Ukraine than spreading their wings in areas where they will not be able to cope. And Israel have its own there with Palestine and the other Arab world. They should concentrate on that in their state solution that they are finding than coming to Africa to beg for resources through helping the military. So that will be my advice to them. Focus on your area. You have a lot of heat there and not go down there too. But our boys, the good thing is that you can sit here in Europe or America and read a book. That to practice it is what you will find the difficulties. We know our terrain, we know our area, our boys know where to sit and wait for them. And those, they are so-called drones and satellite and whatever, it will not work in Africa. It will work in Europe. It will not work in Africa. They will come to Amazonia. Those things will be turned upside down and they will be carrying them back. I don't want to mention another Entebbe raid from Israel. I hope they remember that. But what I will say to our boys, be focused, be alert, and I hope the Department of Defense is in touch with them. And no story should be taken lightly. We should keep our eyes on those things. Yep, that's what I would say.
Oh, thank you very much. For the ARFs, stay focused and be prepared to know that at any time anything can happen with or without these stories. But be focused. That was the advice from
They
our
might,
chief.
might even say, Mawini, they might say Russia and Israel, and then they will go and carry Gabon and Nigeria, bringing it from behind. So that we should be looking that way while the others are coming from the borders there. So there should really be an alert all over, looking very well.
Thank you again. Okay, I have another one for you here. Wow. This one is not an alert or allegation. This is reality.
Mhm.
We have heard that some, I will put in quotes, fake Ambazonians are raising funds for rebuilding. So this Saturday, tomorrow, the 23rd, they are planning to raise funds for rebuilding Ambazonia, and the war has not really even ended. So is this another La Republique agenda in disguise? What do you think?
Yes. But what I will say after my yes is that there is, I mean, when you give somebody this, you try to dignify somebody by calling the person fake Ambazonia. You're indirectly meaning he's an Ambazonian, but these people are not Ambazonia. Look, there are two set of peoples in this revolution. You are either La Republique or you are Ambazonia. And let me say this. I am somebody who don't like talking when you want to make something clear, put diplomacy before you talk. Before we even came up to, I was looking for the WhatsApp message we got from Maggie Kilo. Is that her name? It's called
You are
Maggie
correct.
Kilo, right? Good.
Yes.
That is a woman that we have contacted with Chief Fonken. Chief Fonken openly said he don't want anything to deal with wherever Sako is present. Maggie Kilo says her hands are tied. She is having a lot of work. We wanted her to even come and be in the team of our lead negotiators because we learned she worked with the UN, the African Development Bank, and all those things. And we attest that she will have some experience and something like that. No, she will not come. We had a meeting with her, myself, Secretary Chris, and some other people. I don't know if I think it was a meeting with this coalition for separation or whatever dialogue they call themselves. So, to cut a long story short, let me tell you this why they are doing that thing tomorrow. And Ambazonians, for those who are listening and those who will listen, these people are not fake Ambazonian. They are La Republique agents. Call a spade a spade. You know why they are doing this? I will give you 3 points. Number one, this is being spearheaded by Fontaine Niba. The last time I talked about that guy, I went ahead and described his eyeglasses, and people say, oh, this and that. Look, let me tell you, that guy was in prison, and they raised $14,000 for him to pay for his car that was burnt or something like that. I can still remember. That money was given to Tapang Ivo. I don't know if Tapang ever gave him the money or not. It doesn't concern me because I didn't give a dime in that. I don't know. I really have graduated from church because God really helped me not to put my dime in that money. He was in prison thinking, oh my God, if they can raise $14,000 when I was still in this dungeon. If I will present myself to them, hundreds of thousands will come. That is why he took himself and fly to white man country to come and look for money. And he's lamenting wherever he is there in the USA. And there's no money. So they are bringing out this trick. And you know why? Upon all the castigation, the abuses, and all the defamation, and all what they have said about Sako, he still came up with Mesam draft and brought up 251,000 euro, or whether it's euro or dollar. After all, it's 1 to 1 now. So it's no matter how you call it. So those people, Fontaine Niba, got up with his gangs like Buwabed and Akuru and all the other people. And they say, oh, so Ambazonia people still have money. If this man can be drawn in the mud like this, and he can still come in one evening and raise $251,000, that means we too can do something. That's why they stepped up. I'm doubting why is Maggie Kilo calling for that thing, because the agent of Fontaine Niba is awesome, Emma, the one called Dr. Emma awesome. They are all the people in that they are so-called whatever. So they think Ambazonian people are so stupid when they will come and sit down. She's talking about rebuilding. The United Nations Development Agency or whatever, they came with their reconstruction and whatever. What did? They couldn't do anything. And I would advise Ambazonia people to go back, take that Maggie Kilo's audio and listen line after line. A lot of us used to listen to things with already answer in our head. Don't put any answer. Listen to that audio. Listen to her words. How she chooses her words to call our. Is our people, our fighters, our country, our. You know that our makes her stand in the middle. La Republique that has sponsored them to carry out that type of rubbish called fundraise or whatever is happy that yeah, our people that those our people are working hard now. And then some Ambazonians are seated there and they say, oh yeah, we are getting this woman and these people, they are coming to us. No, no, they want their money. I can read you guys something here. When somebody sent here about this Maggie Kilo to me, I've met her, I've talked to her, we have invited her to come to act. She has refused. And a lot of her write-up were here with me. I don't know where I got it. But this is a write-up that was sent to me telling me about my cooperative attitude is greatly appreciated. Okay, maybe, oh, I'm glad that I can cooperate. Also, I thought I'm the biggest vagabond on earth. But all the same, I look forward to participating in discussing the IG vision. Together, we will redeem Ambazonia from Bia's kleptocratic and demonic regime approach of pursuing his one and indivisible Cameroon theory. In retrospective, I'm still regretting the absence of Dr. Maggie Kilo. This was sent to me 24th July 2021. You can see the time we start calling this woman to come to act. And she's playing games. Continue. She got the talents needed by ACT in the negotiation process with a lot of experience from the World Bank and the African Development Bank. Both of you, as she and myself, would have formed a formidable team to consolidate ACT and the negotiation process. Do you think there is anything we can do to bring her in? The Coalition for Dialogue is currently benefiting from her expertise. So you can see, this is it, what I'm reading here. If anybody can see, I'm not formulating any. It was sent to me. And they know where she belongs. And they know where she stands. So those are people who are playing games to try to confuse the heads of Ambazonia, looking at us as fools. You know, let me tell you something. In those days when you hear names, if I was living back then in those days, that this name Dr. Ellard, woo, I would even have a very street, Ellard Street, as you used to hear, Munangai Street, how you call this one in Bamenda, so Street, now those names don't play anything. We have evolved in a level that if you are in, you're in. You're out, you're out. Maggie Kilo is not an Ambazonian. She will never be. And please, no Ambazonia should doubt for a second to go there and give your dime. Or if you have a lot you want to spare, you want to give Fonteniba and Akuru, and go and dash them, go and give them. But I bet you will regret. Don't remember today, the 22nd of July 2022. You will come back and say, Dr. Ella, you said it. Thank you. So those are not fake Ambazonia, ma. We need never you call them fake Ambazonians. Call them La Republique agents. Don't put that name Ambazonia on them. You're dignifying them by even calling them fake Ambazonians.
Oh, Dr. Ella, that was hard because if I look at it, we people that some of us may have put our eyes on in the past, if they are so ambivalent or they're really just not for us, or they're playing the easy middle ground, or they're really agents, then we would have just planted La Republique in our midst, and that would not have been helpful for us. And it would have already put us at the disadvantage at the negotiation table. So, another one of those reasons why a lot of this, we talk about some classified information, needs to be handled to a certain level. Now we're gonna change gears a little bit. I'm looking at the time. I don't know how this time is running away from us. There is lockdown. I heard President Sako call for a 3 days lockdown, and there's some other one that somebody said, I've contacted so and so and so and so, and they put out something out there and said there's no reason for lockdown. And then some people are turning always distractors. Say 10 days lockdown. What on earth is a 10-day lockdown? We can even say, yeah, maybe we our people can try three. You have Monday, which is already the country Sunday, if they are Tuesday and Wednesday. But in lockdown, are we punishing our people for the sake of La Republic? Or what is this all about?
Well, you said it. Second to your second last statement, we are punishing our people. You remember I was making a video at the boundary, the border between Poland and Germany, and you saw me fighting with mosquitoes, right? And you can imagine the forces who are in the bush or bushes, according to our Minister of Territorial of La Republic. The voices in the bushes. You can imagine what they are undergoing. Days, I mean, seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. But when we sit in our comfort zone, it's very easy for us to announce 11 days of mourning or 10 days of lockdown. It's easy to say it to show ourselves that we have the power. But put them to lock their own self down here in Europe or in the USA for one day in their own houses. They will not be able. Macron is going, I think, tomorrow to La Republique. Tomorrow, I think, 23rd. And I bet you he will never sleep in that jungle. Never will he sleep there. He's leaving the same day to wherever, another area to go and carry his this Franca-Free. You know, every month they have to send some money. So now maybe those La Republique is one of those who is saying, man, this Ukraine war, we cannot. So he's going to tell them, if you don't put that money, I'm going to put the new person on this chair now. So hurry up. And we are doing lockdown. We understand the lockdown. I explained to some people who called. I said, the reason of the lockdown is that Macron is chairing the European Union at the moment. He is the present chair. Because people talk about diplomacy. If you ask what is Macron is doing, they'll say he's the president of France. Finish. Whatever they don't know. He's the present chair. And he is one of the lead negotiators for this Ukraine war. So now he's going down there, all eyes, all Europe, the 27 European Union countries plus those who are vying for candidateship like Ukraine, Serbia, Macedonia, and all the rest. They are watching, they are looking at his movement, where he's going, what he's going to say. And their eyes might step into Ambazonia with their agents who are down there seeing, following with journalists who are also following behind. So having a 1, 2, 3 days lockdown is something that at least one can say yes is achievable. But when you stand there and you're putting 10 days lockdown, What are the prerequisites that you've put out in order to make sure that those people who you're putting the days lockdown have prepared themselves with enough food in the house, medicaments, and all those other things? Monday is a country Sunday. Before Monday, people have already prepared themselves for Monday and Tuesday. Enough beverage and food. But you just come up and put your 10 days or what, 20 days, calling it morning. It's just a shame. I mean, sometimes I used to always say, but when I will be very serious. I feel toxic. I don't already crime I die many times for this revolution because I know say if I will be down there, I for don't die since. I've been thinking the way that these people who are in the diaspora, the next battle should be those here in this diaspora. These are the people that one should find a way how to start eliminating them. Because when they sit here, they are so comfortable that they just do things and say things that they don't even think. But all the same, we are not talking on that now. But we will reach that point. Yes, because
Dr. Ella.
the Russians are not stupid to cross their boundary and eliminate people in Germany, in the UK, in the USA, and all over. They're not. And they will reach that point that we Amazonians will do it. I'm telling you the truth. We will do it. Because it's so annoying. I don't know who some people think they are. Who even gave them that right to even think you're somebody that you can just sit down and okay, go ahead, Marvin, because if I go off now, things will not be good.
Okay. Dr. Ella, the goal every time a lockdown is put in place, just a reminder, there should be a mission, a purpose for something that needs to be achieved. But that something that needs to be achieved should have the least negative impact directly on our people. They may be the ones executing it in terms of the ones to stay at home, but the impact should be felt by La République more, and the and our people should have minimal impact. It is sad that some people do not think and do not see beyond that. But I'm gonna switch gears and give you the opportunity to tell us one final word for our people. But before I go, I see on your wall your artwork, which is not really an artwork. I know what it is. 1974 to 2022. That is something dear to you, and that is someone dear to you. And many people do not know that. Even as we go on, many people that are so involved here in diaspora have people on the ground who have lost and or have perished. Tell us more who that is. And let us also know that the people know back at home that we are also flesh and blood, and we have flesh and blood as they are going through this. We are all in this together at different level. We may not announce it, but it is there. Some people may want to use theirs to highlight things and bring on the high, big level so that they can milk it, but not so with Dr. Ella. Dr. Ella, tell us. This is a little peep into your work.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think somehow can be seen well. That is my junior blood brother, the same mother, the same father, and who passed away this March. Yeah, it was in March. Yeah, and then what was it, 18th of March. The other one is not seen there. It's also after March, April, May. 3 months after, another one went away. Just this time. So as I'm sitting here, blood brothers and sister, that's my mother, my sisters, my brother. 5 of them has gone since we started this revolution. Yeah, the one that was killed by La République du Cameroon, that most of you know, and this one, I don't know whatever happened because now it's too much for me. But the thing is that some people are in the diaspora, as you rightly said. They think as we are in this revolution like this, we're fighting for positions. No, we don't need position. We're fighting because we know what is happening there and what our people are going down there. As I've said, I've lost them. I didn't even have the opportunity to go down there and say goodbye to them, bury them. I have to be watching through social media, or if I'm lucky, I'm sent some pictures. And when we have some people who are sitting here in the diaspora trying to tell us what to do and how to do, and making them, if it's not them, then it's the highway. Well, I just have one advice to those type of people. If you want to succeed, eliminate Dr. Ella too. Because so far, so long I'm living, it will not work. That is it. We are not in that modern mathematics that they say one take away two is minus this. No, no. One take away two, it cannot go. Finish. Punct. Doesn't work. They are gone, they are gone. And we are still alive. So far we are still alive, we'll fight the war. I thank you for even saying that. That's why I put it there. Let it be always there. When I make my videos, I'm on AVC Live. People should see that we too are losing people, not only some other people losing their own people. And I want to extend my condolences to everyone who is living this life that I'm living in silence, because we know how it eats us inside very well. We know that. Some people are saying we are, you know, we have put ourselves in self-exile. But I believe strongly in one thing, that anything that you struggle for, you enjoy it better. And unfortunately, I don't have it here. For those who have ever done something like marathon, I did it. I took part here in Berlin. When you are reaching the finishing point, you have all thoughts in your mind. I just listened to one of your USA guy who won, I think, the 100-meter race. They were asking him some type of question that I'm saying now. You are reaching the finishing point. You're thinking whether to stop, to fall, to end it, and then finally you see yourself, you cross the line. And that is what is happening now in Ambazonia. We are almost at the finish point. We will see all the Maggie kilos, the Fontaine Nibas, that is those people who hinder progress. Coming in, we will skip over them. And then we'll find ourselves, we're in Boya. We will not change the capital. The capital will stay there until we reach. And if we want to do that, we'll do it with a referendum, which I doubt if we'll ever do it. So thank you for citing that behind me. And yeah, that's life. We wish they would have been alive, but they're gone. So that's life.
Um, Dr. Elak and the other many Ambazonians whose loved ones have perished during the war, during the genocide, as well as those who are also in self exile and cannot make it back home to say farewell to their loved ones, just accept our sincere condolences. And we want to just encourage Homefront that the weight is heavy, not only on you, but even sometimes on us in diaspora. And of course, we do not undervalue the fact that you guys have your lives at the you cannot guarantee the safety of your lives even at nighttime. But there is one thing we should do. We should remember that La République cannot kill the fact that we know who we are, our identity, and we understand what our inheritance is. And they are not going to take it from us no matter what they do. They have tried for 60 years. Even their president, Mr. Biya, in 2019, during the Paris Peace Conference, said it, we tried, and it did not work. So just give up. Tell France that it's not going to work. Come to the negotiation table and let's dialogue, let's negotiate, and let's go our separate way. You Ambazonians on the front, I want to say thank you. Make sure you get enough food and water and medicine for the 3 days that is coming up. When you go to church on Sunday, pray. Pray for your neighbor, observe your neighbors, and make sure that everyone around you is safe. And also be your brother's keepers. And of course, we know that not everyone who speaks the language is necessarily the genuine. Jesus, even in the Bible, said it himself. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, 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 is really meaning that or will enter the kingdom of God. Not everybody who says I'm Ambazonia or we, our, and this, our boys, our this, will enter Ambazonia because they really are not Ambazonians. Some of them are wolves in sheep clothing. So I want to encourage you guys to do this. And to those in diaspora, here is my for us to have a strong negotiation team and have a strong voice and leverage on the negotiation table. Please draft, draft, draft. Tomorrow is manual. Please come one, come all. They don't tell when I say erudere ufufu when I come. So come join the manual people, county. If you went to school in Man, you come. If you do business or Man, you come. If you marry Man, you come. Everybody, if you don't ever drive past through Manu, whether you're going to Nigeria or wherever, come to Manu draft. All roads lead to Manu for the draft. So we'll see you guys all. And in 2 weeks, Team Ambazonia, their negotiation show will be again with a new topic or another topic for the way forward as we move forward. Don't undermine and don't minimize the fact that we are continuing. Capacity buildings are ongoing and will continue to. You may not be in one today, but tomorrow you may be in another one. And when you are called up to do it, just know that if you're available, say yes to doing it. If we could get many people from the ground or home front, we would have done that. But your safety is very crucial and important to us. So I want to thank you for listening. Next Thursday, there will be Team Ambazonia Town Hall. So don't forget to attend. And that date, let me just announce it, the date for Thursday. So let me get my calendar, make sure I am saying the right date. Thursday will be the 28th of July, will be Team Ambazonia Town Hall meeting. So come one, also come all. Thank you. Good night. Have a good evening and prepare for the lockdown. It's only 3 days, not 10 days. We do not hate you. We love you and we don't want you to go outside and stretch you beyond what is out of the norm. Bye-bye. Good night.
The Amber World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort, while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Ambazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depends on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop.
Fellow Ambazonians, this is an announcement declaring 3 days national lockdown from Monday the 25th to Wednesday the 27th of July 2022. This lockdown has to do with the visit of President Macron to La République du Cameroon. We all know that the war between La République du Cameroon and the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is a proxy war fought by the French, our true warriors, our true enemies who are fighting us. Behind the shadows are the French. Mr. Macron, the President of France, is therefore the real perpetrator of the genocide that has been declared on our people. And he is visiting neighboring La République du Cameroon to review, encourage, and visit his troops, his genocidal troops. Ambazonia is not invited to that inglorious occasion, except for one blackleg, Mr. Frundi, who has been invited to represent himself. We in Ambazonia, all Ambazonians, we will use these 3 days to mourn. The whole territory of Ambazonia should observe these 3 days as mourning days. We want to mourn our more than 45,000 innocent souls that have been brutally slaughtered by the French paid armies of La République in our country. And this genocide is ongoing. We are mourning. Our territory will be in complete lockdown. Our borders, especially with La Republique, shall be locked down, shall be closed during this time. We are calling on Mr. Macron to tell his handlers to meet us as quickly as now for a meaningful negotiated settlement to this war that is devouring our people unjustly. During these days, these 3 days, all forces are put on notice. All Ambazonia restoration forces should do everything to enforce this order nationwide and make sure that our borders with La Republique are closed, so that if by any means Mr. Macron on his way from France or on his way to Benin flies over our airspace, he should be able to see that Ambazonia is mourning. And even if he does not see it, that his own press in Yaoundé and his intelligence services in his embassy should be able to communicate to him clearly where the state of Ambazonia and what is happening right now. This is the right thing to do, and may God continue to protect our country. God bless you.